That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day.
Every now and again, a little reality breaks through to Dream World. Check this out. This is Trump Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt.
She's great.
On ABC, and she just sort of rips right through the whole nonsense.
You want to talk about violence against political opponents? Let's talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a threat to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to Hitler, one of the worst mass murderers in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political violence that has led to 2 heinous assassination attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political violence because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney, have got this country into is not political violence. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
Yet, of course, after those attempted assassination attempts on the former president's life, his opponents reached out to him and said they do not accept political violence. That has been a key difference there. I do want to play you.
No, please. His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 assassination attempts. The second attempted assassin on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016 because people don't trust the media and they're not buying the Harris campaign's closing argument that he's some great threat to our democracy because they lived under him for 4 years as president, and our democracy and our country was stronger than it is today.
Glenn, what she's referencing right there is that they did it again this weekend. The mainstream media ran with a completely concocted story that Donald Trump implied that Liz Cheney should be, in essence, shot. In what he was actually saying was, oh, you know, these war hawks are so willing to send other people out there with a gun to stare down the barrel of someone else's gun. Maybe she should try that. It seems to me Republicans are getting a little better at the media thing.
Oh, I think we're getting better at the media thing, and I really think, Dave, this is the end of the media. If she wins, the media will be bailed out, and they will go for some sort of a license for journalists, and we'll have to appear in front of a panel. And
they're doing it in Canada
say,
right
well,
now.
You don't fit, so you don't get accreditation, so you can't be a journalist. That's if she wins, and they will bail them out with our taxpayer money as well. Mm-hmm. If he wins, Joe Rogan sealed the fate of the mainstream media. When he can get 100 million views, why would you go on to ABC, NBC, CBS when you couldn't get 100 million views from all of them combined?
Yep.
This is the last election of this media. Again, everything's going to change if he wins.
And that's why when Elon talks about the future being bright, it's like we're so freaking close. And yet I think guys like us have to map that for people. That's why I'm so glad you just said that. I think, too, it's getting very hard for people to see a positive vision for the future. But we are so close depending on what happens tomorrow.